1 year. 1 year from this coming Tuesday, voters all over the country will head to the polls. I know many Americans only like to tune into elections about a month before an election is set to take place. That's just not an option for Second Amendment supporters. Not if we're going to hold off all the radical anti-gun schemes the gun grabbers have planned. This is Dudley Brown, president of the National Association for Gun Rights. I put together this personal presentation for you because I believe this could be the most important 12-month period for Second Amendment supporters in decades. And before I begin, let me say that this presentation will come in 3 brief parts, where I'll quickly review the number one threat Second Amendment supporters face today at the hands of the gun grabbers, a very blunt view of the stakes for you and me in 2016, and finally, what the National Association for Gun Rights has planned, with your support, to fight back. After the rash of shootings we've witnessed in 2015, from South Carolina to Louisiana to Virginia and Oregon, the gun grabbers are going all out for expanded or so-called universal background checks. After all, it sounds harmless to many Americans. No one wants to run into a madman with a gun. But gun grabbers never mention that laws are already on the books banning felons and those who have been adjudicated as a danger to themselves and others from illegally owning guns. That's because the devil in the gun grabbers' so-called background check scheme lies in the details. You see, the only way government can enforce such a scheme is to keep records of each and every gun and gun owner in America. In other words, this is code for national gun registration. Universal or expanded background checks were the key provisions in the Toomey Mansion assault Second Amendment supporters narrowly defeated in 2013. It's the very core of the United Nations Small Arms Treaty. It's the reason why gun grabbers like billionaire Michael Bloomberg continue to tout poorly worded polls that say up to 90% of Americans support their so-called background check scheme. And it's the reason politicians like President Barack Obama never place the blame for tragedies on murderers or sitting duck zones in their mad rush for more gun control. But the real bad news is more than a few members of both parties in Congress support background check expansion. And Bloomberg and other gun grabbers like George Soros believe they're just a handful of votes shy of finally ramming this down our throats. That's why they're coming after us like never before in 2016. Should they succeed, everything from the Feinstein gun ban to national gun registration will be back on the table. And as you and I know, registration is only the first step toward ultimate confiscation. That's why these next 12 months will be so critical. That's why I put together this presentation for you to show you everything we have on our plates. My hope is after I finish showing you our plans, you'll agree to support our efforts with a generous contribution of $10 or $25 per month, at least through the end of 2016. The good news is, thousands of good folks like you from all over the country have already signed up. But with everything that's at stake, I need thousands more. As you know, the race for the White House has been at the top of everyone's list for months now. That's for good reason. You and I have seen the lengths President Obama will go to in order to ram more gun control into law. But it's not just the presidency that is up for grabs. The U.S. Senate is up for grabs as well. Gun grabbers only need to flip 5 seats to install another one of their anti-gun puppets as Senate Majority Leader. With 24 Republican seats up for re-election against only 10 Democrat seats, the lay of the land is certainly in the gun grabbers' favor. Senators like Rand Paul and Mike Lee are likely to be top targets for the gun grabbers. And control of the U.S. House will likely be decided by what happens in these 57 races throughout the country. To fight back, I'm going to go all out to expose the gun grabbers using everything from hard-hitting email and mail to internet, radio, and even TV ads. This will be the biggest and most cutting-edge program in our history. With your help, I can guarantee the gun grabbers won't get away with mincing words and lying to the American people or running away from their records. But with Bloomberg doing everything he can to browbeat members of both parties into supporting gun control ahead of the 2016 primaries, Second Amendment supporters can't wait until next summer or fall to get involved. We have to start now. The truth is, key U.S. House, Senate, and presidential caucuses and primaries begin on February 1st and run through September 13th, 2016. Then you and I have November elections. And legislative fights in Congress and at the state level will rage on through all of this. With the help of good folks like you, my goal is to run the biggest election year program in the National Association for Gun Rights history. In fact, I budgeted $500,000 for the 2016 primaries. I'd like to spend another $1.2 million targeting the top 20 of the most highly competitive U.S. House races, which you can see here. With control of the U.S. Senate likely to boil down to what happens in just a handful of races, I'm preparing to unleash a full-scale email, mail, internet, and TV ad program in as many as 6 races in the following states for a cost of $2.4 million. And assuming a pro-gun presidential nominee, which largely depends on the success of our primary program, I'm prepared to run a full-scale program in as many as 5 of the most competitive battleground states for a cost of $3.1 million. In 2014, the National Association for Gun Rights conducted a similar effort. The results speak for themselves. 8 U.S. senators who voted for Toomey Manchin are no longer in Congress. Many were defeated. Others simply didn't run again, knowing they would face a buzzsaw at the ballot box. That defeat showed gun grabbers that if they dare cross American gun owners, there will be a severe price to pay at the ballot box. That's the lesson Bloomberg and his cronies are going all out to wipe off the books in 2016. And that's why the stakes are higher than ever in 2016. That's why I'm looking for as many patriots as possible to make this plan a reality with just $10 or $25 a month by signing up for our Frontline Defender monthly contributor program. This is our premier membership program. In fact, Frontline Defenders are the backbone of everything the National Association for Gun Rights does. And I know they'll play a key role in deciding whether or not I can raise the full $7.2 million I need to put this plan into action over the next year. Of course, there are many benefits to joining, like automatic entry into monthly gun giveaways, exclusive gear, the From the Frontline's quarterly newsletter, and bragging rights as a premier member. Most importantly, without Bloomberg's billions, this is the best way Second Amendment supporters can stand up and fight back. Your monthly gifts, combined with thousands of other patriots just like you, enable Second Amendment supporters to make a true big money impact, which can often be the key in critical elections like 2016. Not only that, but you'll ensure Second Amendment supporters are truly ready to strike back at a moment's notice if the gun grabbers attempt to launch any sort of last-minute attack on our gun rights at either the federal or state levels. But this program only works if patriots like you are willing to step up. I can't tell you how important these next 12 months are going to be for Second Amendment supporters. So if you've ever thought about signing up as a Frontline Defender, I hope you'll do so today. I need all hands on deck, and I know you understand just how important this is.